Hey, welcome to Unleashed. I'm your host, Will Bachman. So tonight I have been invited to go be a panelist by the Phi Beta Kappa Society and the New York Phi Beta Kappa Association to share my thoughts with with young professionals who have recently been inducted in the New York area. I guess about thoughts around career and how to be successful and thrive. So I thought I'd put together my thoughts and share them first here on the podcast before I head out this evening. So I've made a list of a bunch of points, and I will go through them. So I have 48 points to go through. All right. Number one, goals. Write down your goals. Consider organizing your goals by category, such as fitness, family, friends, skills, reading, places to visit, things you want to buy, things you want to do. If you write down your goals, apparently the science says you're 20 to 40% more likely to accomplish your goals. In my estimation, that probably way underestimates the impact of writing them down. It's even better if you write down SMART goals, namely specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Warren Buffett would have you select the top 5 goals and just ignore the rest. And it's helpful if you do a daily review of your activities and saying, what am I doing today to advance towards my goals? Number 2, fitness. Get up and move every day. A light workout is far better than no workout at all. Think about incorporating micro workouts into your routine. That might be 1 or 5 or 10 push-ups whenever you return to your office. Think about getting a standing desk. And I recommend getting a personal trainer once a week at least. The appointment is a forcing function to make sure at least once a week you have a serious workout. I tend to run 5 or 6 or 7 days a week, kind of a light jog, but then that one day a week I really get crushed, and that is super helpful. Number 3, diet. Michael Pollan's advice is eat food, not too much, mostly plants, and that is pretty good advice. One tip here is see about changing your routine or incorporating something regular in your daily habits. So, for example, for what I've done is for lunch, I just have a plate of raw vegetables every day for lunch, and that is one way to just have something. It's just a habit. Carrots, celery, cucumbers, fennel, etc., all chopped up, and then you don't have to think about it. Number 4, sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Think about waking up before your peers. I think that you're more likely to get a massive advantage over your peers if you're productive between the hours of 5 and 7 a.m. than between the hours of 10 p.m. to midnight. Of course, your mileage may vary as genetics plays a role, and I understand I might be on the extreme end. My own optimal sleep pattern is about 9:30 p.m. to 5 in the morning. Again, figure out what optimal is what's optimal for you. Number 5, mingling. Learn how to mingle. I used to be terrible at it. Now I'm at least average. Don't go up to someone and ask, what do you do? It's super boring. Instead, find some questions that are a little bit out of the ordinary, such as, what are you most excited about right now? Or, how did you get here? Or, so what are you passionate about? I recommend reading The Art of Mingling, Fun and Proven Techniques for Mastering Any Room. And the author, Jean Martinet, was the guest on episode 103 of this show, which was a really fun episode for me because Jean's book was hugely helpful for me when I read it 15 or 20 years ago. Number 6, side projects. Successful people tend to have side projects, something they're doing that's not required by their current job. Go and build something. Number 7, create a portfolio of your work. Showing is way more impressive than telling. So work on building sanitized samples of work that you've done online if possible, so you can say to people, here, I built this. Number 8, build an audience of people who are interested in what you have to say. Number 9, reading. Mostly books. Theodore Roosevelt read at least 1 book per day over his entire life. 1 book every day. He was president. How much could you read if you converted Instagram and Facebook time to reading books? I think reading books are more valuable because they've been around. People invest more time in writing them. And think about it. You write a newspaper article, it's gone the next day. But people spend like years writing a book. I also recommend including in there some biography. The book Biographies of Lyndon Johnson and Robert Moses by Robert Caro are a great place to start. And read articles you disagree with. When you read, consider writing down what you take away from the book and sharing that. Number 10, news. Mostly try to avoid reading the news. Books do a better job helping you understand the world, and time is limited. Number 11, write. Daily. Number 12, contribute to the conversation. Whether that's a blog or a podcast or videos or LinkedIn posts, contribute. Number 13, consider creating a family and friends newsletter. Send it out periodically, maybe not every month, maybe every quarter, maybe twice a year. It doesn't have to be all your writing. It could be articles you found interesting, photos of you, your travels, some quotes you came across, what you're up to professionally. Consider using MailChimp to send that out. It's a nice way to stay in touch with a bunch of people who care about you, family and friends from college, extended family. Let them know what you're up to. Number 14, learn what the other departments do at work. Volunteer and help out. If you are in marketing, for example, go and help pack orders when the ops department's busy. If you're in production, offer to help the marketing department at the convention. If you're in finance, ask a sales rep to show you how the CRM system works. Become the expert on the systems that are used at work. So master the ERP system. There's probably a manual or some online videos that you can watch. Most people won't do this, but you can learn how to do everything in the tool more than your job demands. And eventually someone senior will recognize that you're the expert and ask for your help. Number 15, in meetings, offer to send the recap email. If you're the junior person, it will give you a reason to be there. Number B, you'll get noticed by senior people, and C, it gives you power to frame what was agreed to. Number 16, at least once in your 20s, take a long walk. If you can afford the time off work, El Camino de Santiago, or the Path of St. James, across Spain is a great choice. You can walk 500 miles from Roncesvalles to Santiago in Galicia, and it's hard to take that time off later, and it is an amazing experience. Take a long walk and really learn the rhythm of what it means to walk that kind of distance. Number 17, show up at work before the boss. Number 18, if your company is publicly held, read the 10K. Know how profitable your company is and the names of the senior executives. Number 19, send holiday cards. Yes, old school physical cards. It reminds people that you exist, and if you do it consistently every year, they'll appreciate it. Number 20, scrapbook. Collect all the miscellaneous papers that come through your life, the important ones, and save them for a scrapbook. Maybe do one scrapbook per year, and if you don't have time to do the scrapbook, throw them in a box. Number 21, annual photo book. Eventually, you're going to lose track of all the digital photos that you've taken. So once a year, make an actual physical photo book for the year using Shutterfly or some similar service. Your grandkids will appreciate it. 22, travel. It's far cheaper to travel now than it will be later. So go. 23, foreign language. Reinforce the foreign language that you learned speaking up or that you learn in college, or learn a new one now if you only speak your native language. And as a way of keeping that up, read novels in that foreign language. Number 24, habits. Learning to eliminate bad habits and develop the habits that you want is the master skill. 25, routines or rituals. Religions have rituals for a reason. It's not enough to understand something. It's important to reinforce and recommit to it daily. So create your own rituals to embed the habits. For example, mine is I want to make sure that at the beginning of every day, I think through and organize my day. So in the morning, I walk the dog to Starbucks. I have my bullet journal with me. I create an action item list for the day, prioritize the top action items, time box the day, and then I walk back, I drop off the dog in the notebook, and I run through miles listening to an audiobook. And then I eat still-cut oats and blueberries. I shower, I go to my office, I do 5 push-ups, and I clear my desk. Okay, so that is my morning routine right now, and it embeds getting some exercise and thinking through my day at a clear time of the morning. Number 26, manage your to-do list. This falls in the last one. So the most valuable skill of the 21st century is figuring out what to do next. I recommend the bullet journal method. It's create a daily list of your action items and create other lists as well. Your goals for the month, your goals for the quarter, blog posts you should write, podcast episodes you want to write. And having that time in the morning to actually write it out by hand, I find hugely valuable. 27, alcohol and drugs. I don't know anyone my age who wishes they had consumed more drugs and alcohol over the last 3 decades. I do know people whose lives have been ruined by drugs and alcohol, so consider reducing your consumption if you do partake. Mental health, number 28. If you suffer from mental health issues, get counseling and seek help. Number 29, dentist. Get a cleaning 4 times a year instead of 2. Cleanings are far easier when you only go for 3 months have elapsed instead of 6. Number 30, activism. Try to make a difference on a very small scale. So consider, instead of investing your time in a global debate where on the margin you're really not going to make much of a difference, instead consider getting the pothole fixed on the street in front of your house, or something very local where your marginal effort will actually get it done. 31, social media. Consider avoiding discussing politics online. 32, computer. Whenever it's within your control, use 2 monitors. It is a massive boost to productivity. Number 33, IT security. Use a password program like LastPass, and also set up 2-step verification for your email. Number 34, Evernote. Get an Evernote subscription or some competing notes app, but as far as I can tell, Evernote's about the best. Save articles that you find interesting that you're reading online. Save web pages you might want to return to later. It's an incredibly useful archive to see what you've been interested in the past and to find some article that you read several years ago that you want to revisit. Number 35, dating. A significant other. To find a significant other, if you don't have one now, be an interesting person and do interesting things. Get to know people outside your industry. Be a connector. Other point is, most of the married couples I know did not meet until their late 20s. So searching for a mate is a big time investment. And since, at least in my experience, most people that end up being married don't meet until the late 20s, there might be other ways to invest the time between ages of 22 and 27. Number 36, friends. Use the telephone and call your friends. Consider organizing a group outing. Get group rate tickets to a play or to a sporting event or to some kind of happening. And once you've bought the tickets, organize your friends to go with you. Organizing events is a great skill. Send handwritten notes. Get some correspondence cards, have stamps at the ready, and occasionally send handwritten notes. It's a really nice habit to pick up. Invest in your friendships from college. Turns out it's actually quite difficult to form new friends after college or after graduate school. There's something about being in school that just makes it easier to form friendships. So it's it's since it's hard to form those friendships, hold on to the ones you've got. Stay in touch with professors who would actually recognize you. Send them a note to those that wouldn't remember you, and just stay in touch with your professors as well. You may never get anything out of it, but they will appreciate it. Number 37, help to organize your high school or college reunion. Again, organizing events is a useful side project type skill, can come in handy professionally. Number 38, go to a conference in your industry, even if you might think you're too junior to go, even if you have to pay for it yourself. Although if you volunteer to help in some way, you can probably wrangle an invitation to go for free. Number 39, get a AAA membership, even if you don't have a car. If it's the best discount that a hotel offers. In some cases, it's even better than big consulting firms or big corporations get. Ask for the AAA discount. And if you ever need a tow, you will appreciate that you got your AAA card. Finances. Get a life insurance policy now. Get a 30-year term life insurance policy. It'll be cheaper than if you get one in a few years from now when you have a significant other and kids. Start saving for retirement. If you're employed, certainly contribute to your defined contribution, your 401k plan. If you're independent, get an IRA or SEP IRA. And unless you believe you have unique insight into the market, invest in index funds. Number 41, here is a get-rich-quick plan that actually works. Live in a lower-cost neighborhood where you are in the top 25% of income instead of in the bottom 25% of income. Your expectations of what is normal adjust based on what you see your neighbors doing. And if you live in a place where you're in the top 25% of income, you'll feel more wealthy and you'll end up spending less. Number 42, start developing or capturing your philosophy on life. Here's a couple of my beliefs. Education has a half-life of perhaps 2 to 4 years. So my college degree that I got, almost 30 years ago is basically worthless. David A. Fields, I learned this from David A. Fields, measure wealth in terms of relationships. Number 3, everyone has something to teach you. And in most relationships, you won't get a return on your investment in terms of practical benefits, but that's okay. It's hard to predict which relationships will yield a return, so keep investing in all of them. Number 43, update your LinkedIn profile. Number 44, reach out and ask someone that you don't know some question about their industry, about their company, about something. It's good practice. Number 45, skills. How to delay being replaced by artificial intelligence. Write. If you aren't writing, you probably aren't thinking. Expand your toolkit of influence skills and learn negotiation skills. Take a course in negotiation. It's really the best way to learn negotiation beyond engaging in negotiations. Find some way to get into a sales role. If not with your current employer, then as a side gig. Help a friend sell something. Volunteering for a political campaign is a form of sales. For your local community or religious organization, there's sales. Learning how to actually get people to willingly part with their money in return for something that they perceive as more valuable than the money in their pocket is incredibly valuable skill, and something that may be the last thing that AI will replace. Take the initiative to build something. We talked before about creating an event or throwing a party, learning how to create attention online, and learn how to code. Number 46, learn how to ask for feedback and how to accept it gracefully. So at McKinsey, they taught us the 3-part feedback framework, which was when you're giving feedback, it's saying, I noticed that you did this. The effect it had on others in the room or on me was this. In the future, you might want to consider doing that instead. So learn how to give feedback and learn how to ask for it. Number 47, take advantage of all the cool stuff in your city particularly BK, before kids. So that means theater in New York City, get the TodayTix app and the TDF app. Forget about the expensive Broadway crowd pleasers. You can go to amazing theater in New York City for off Broadway for $9. Concerts in the parks, often free. Museums, often free. Book talks by authors, often free. A lot of the best stuff in the city is free. And finally, start developing a list of thinkers that you follow. For me, that would include, this is just a very short list of mine, would be Seth Godin, Tyler Cohen, and The School of Life with Alain de Botton. My list would be much longer than that. But start developing your list. So that's 48 tips for young graduates. I probably will come up with some more, but I hope you found this helpful. And again, if you would like to get the weekly email about Unleashed so you don't miss an episode, and you don't want to listen to every one, but you know what I'm talking about, email me at unleashed@umbrex.com. That link's in the show notes. And I will put you on the mailing list, send you every week a short note on the most recent episodes, and occasionally some bonus material. Thanks for listening.